check it. Listen up, we're making noise. Strictly Sports Podcast, bringing all the toys. Be wise, Miles, and Trigger. We the three wise men. Dropping knowledge, breaking records. It's our mission, man. From the field to the court, we cover it all. No topic too big, no team too small. We analyze, we debate, we bring that heat. Strictly Sports crew taking over the beat.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Strictly Sports. I'm Be Wise.
I'm Miles.
I'm Trigger.
And this is another episode of Strictly Sports. The discussion before we came live was Trigger to the NFL.
Oh, that's gonna be my Miles message.
Trigger to the NFL.
Okay. Go ahead, brother.
That's gonna be my Miles message.
Here we go.
The Band-Aid off.
All right, parents, do not have your kids stuck on one sport. Let your kids try multiple sports. You don't know what they will be good at or what they will like. You know, as we know, Trigger was a great college basketball player. He's in the Hall of Fame. But me personally, I think his true calling would have been football. Now, I don't know if he would have took a hit, but he had the physical strength, the physical size, the speed, the hands. He would have made a great wide receiver. You know, he had a body built like maybe not Calvin Johnson, I'm trying to think. Andre Johnson from the Houston Texans. You know, so let your kids play all the sports. That's it.
I appreciate that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, Lady Ray? How you doing? Thank you for calling us your favorite
My
show.
favorite show. Hey, shout out to Lady Ray. We love you, Lady Ray.
We do. So, heading off of the Miles message. Sorry, it's my first day. The Trigger praise. I changed the picture up too. Speaking of Hall of Fame.
I see that. Good grief. Who's that guy?
Praise. We got praise, Lady Ray.
Yeah. Anywho, you know, nothing long, nothing, in great detail here, but I just want to give a shout out to Rory McIlroy for winning the Masters last weekend. It was an incredible, gutsy performance. It was a roller coaster of a ride. The man was up 4 strokes, and the second player in second place was I think he was 14. Roy was 14 under. The second place guy was 10 under. But I believe he came into the championship Sunday with like a 2-stroke lead, maybe. So he increased it to 4. So it looked like he was going to run away with it. And then he got on that back 9, and Amen Corner ate his ass up. Those 3 holes absolutely demolished him. I think he double bogeyed 1 hole, and maybe bogeyed another one, but he ended up losing that 4-stroke lead in a matter of 2 holes. And the guy who was trailing him did have the lead throughout the first 2 days of the tournament. He didn't have a great third day, but he came back on the championship day, and he stayed close by Roy. And Roy absolutely had some self-inflicted things that occurred that put him back and made the matchup interesting. And when he dropped 2 of those strokes and only had like a 2-stroke lead, he made it interesting for like 4 or 5 more other dudes on the card who was like within 2 or 3 strokes of him. So like he went from almost running away with it to now it being like a 3 or 4-headed race. But he did redeem himself. He hit a beautiful shot. I think it was on the 15th hole or the 16th hole. I forget which one it was. So he hit a shot around a tree, drew it back into the hole, and came off with a birdie. And he went back up a stroke because then he was tied for first place. So he completely lost the 4-stroke lead and ended up tying. And on that hole, he hit that incredible shot and went back up a stroke. And then on the last hole, he had a chance to win in regulation. He missed, I don't want to say an easy putt, but it was a putt that a lot of people expected him to make. He missed it after the second place guy birdied that last hole to tie with Rory. And yeah, it went to a playoff. And they only played 1 hole in the playoff, and then Rory hit an absolute gem of a shot on his approach and ended up winning with a birdie. And it was a long time coming. Rory coming off a win at the Players back in March, which is the quote-unquote 5th major in golf. That was a big win for him, and for him to finally get the green jacket. It was an 11-year chase for him. He's finished, I think, in the top 5 or top 10 in the Masters on a few occasions. Has come real close to winning. Has been competitive for years, and he's finally gotten over the hump. So a lot of people were rooting for him. A lot of people have followed his journey in golf. He is the 6th player in PGA history to win win the Grand Slam, which means he won all of the majors at least once. And there's 4 majors in golf. You got the Open, you got the U.S. Open, the PGA Championship, and then the Masters. So he's now won all of them once, along with the players. And I mean, the man is just. I'm just so happy for him, and you could tell, like when he sank that putt to win that tournament, he just dropped down to his knees and started crying. I mean, I felt that as a golfer myself. But yeah, it was very fun watching him play. It was very fun watching the whole tournament as a whole. You know, I didn't see everything for all 4 days, but I dropped in and out through the first 3 days, and really I didn't really tune in until the last rounds teed off in the afternoon on Sunday, on Championship Sunday. So. But it was nice to see guys in there. You know, they had 2-foot, 3-foot putts, and they were missing them. It was like, yes, they are human. They are pros, but they miss those easy putts too, just like I do. So that was refreshing to see golfers of that level messing up on easy things that I do. So it was fun to see. I mean, probably not fun for them, but it's a nice little reminder that even these professionals, they still make mistakes too. On top of hitting, incredible shots and making nice putts. So, but congratulations to Roy. Fantastic job. He had a lot of adversity in that
What's
last
going on,
round.
Bunny?
He had a big lead, and then he lost it. Then he came back and took it again, and he lost it again. And then he went to that playoff, and he absolutely delivered when he needed to, and well deserved for him. Also, shout out to Clark Smith. Starting pitcher for the New York Yankees came back last night. Didn't pitch a great game, but he pitched an okay game. Okay enough to where I felt that he did have an impact on the Yankees winning that game. He only held Kansas City to 3 runs scored, and our hitting came in, and Judge hit a big home run in the 7th inning to put us up for good, and the Yankees ended up winning 4-3. So it was nice to see Clark Smith come back, a nice pitcher. Again, I don't think he's he'll be an ace type guy or a guy who does a lot, but he'll come in on the back end of the rotation, and he can give you some solid innings. I think he went 6 innings last night, which was pretty good coming off an injury. That was very well. He pitched 73 pitches last night. He had 73 pitches last night. So I think the Yankees were trying to keep him between 70 and 75 pitches on his return, and he was able to stretch that through 6 innings. And it's nice to see a Yankee starter go past 5 innings. Really, any team with a starting pitcher to go past 5 innings is very much welcome, because it's a hard league to pitch in now. It's a lot of guys are getting better with the bats. You got these torpedo bats now. Guys are hitting them a lot better. The offensive production is increasing, so it's hard to get your starters through 4 or 5 innings consistently. So to see him come off an injury in his first game this season and go 6 innings or more than 5 innings, that was good to see. It helps out the bullpen, obviously, and I think he did pitch a good game. A couple things he needs to clean up, but I think in time, once he gets back used to pitching against major league level competition, because he did have the rehab starts out in AAA, and he did well with those. But obviously, the major leagues are different. So I think a few more games under his belt, once he gets back into a rhythm, he'll be really, really good for us. He's definitely an upgrade over Stroman, Warren, and old Cookie. So we'll gladly take him back. And along with Max Fried, and whenever Carlos Rodon decides to show up, the Yankees will be halfway decent, at least a lot better than what they have been presenting so far. So shout out to Clark Smith. Welcome back. Hopefully he keeps getting better and better as the season goes on. Now we're waiting for Luis Hill to return, but still probably a couple couple months away from that. You know, they had a setback here a couple days ago with his rehab. So, hey, it is what it is at this point. But we will welcome him back with open arms, I'm sure. Rookie of the year last year, and rightfully so. So we're in a good spot right now. We got a good pitcher back, and hopefully now bullpen can pick it up and they get healthy because we got a couple injuries out there too. But shout out to those guys, man. Roy McIlroy, big Masters win. Clark Smith, welcome back. The Yankees needed you. We missed you. Start playing some baseball now.
Shout out everybody. Thank you, Bunny, Koala, Lady Ray. Thank y'all for being here with us. We appreciate y'all. How y'all doing?
Absolutely.
Shout out Roy. Yeah, that was he missed that. I don't want to say he choked, but the moment, if you understand the moment and what he's been going through to get to where he was right there, that was big. It wasn't a simple putt. It was a simple putt, but it wasn't an easy putt. And
right. Yeah. That's
you
why
can tell he hugged everybody in the.
I'm not gonna sit here and be like he should have made that putt because I know what I would have did in that situation, 100%. I probably would have put it 10 feet past the hole and been coming back, and I probably would have triple bogeyed that son of a bitch. But anywho, you know, Roy had this thing following him. At least when I watch him play, he has issues making like gimmies or like putts that he should make in high leverage situations. So, you know, when he missed that putt on 18 to send it to a playoff, I was like, here we go. Here we go. He's going to give this tournament away. Like he had a 4-shot lead and he had a complete meltdown on the back nine. He's going to give this shot. He's going to give this tournament away. And he stuck through and he came back and he absolutely delivered, man. But he deserved it. I really was rooting for him to win. I wanted him to win. And I would have been fine if a couple other guys had one, like DeChambeau. I would have been okay if he won. Whoever. But whoever. But
I'm sorry, Jig. I can't.
What?
Yo, that eating like you ain't.
Look at comments, man.
Oh, my bad. I had to on mute. My bad. Hold on. Put on.
Yeah. But yeah, I was happy to see Roy win that. But and I like the interviews afterwards too, like Bryson DeChambeau and Justin Rose, who was the runner-up.
Yeah.
Classy individuals. I mean, they had nothing but nice things to say. You could tell in their eyes that they were disappointed. But kudos to them for going out, you know, having to be that close and to come up short and then have to, you know, talk to the world about what happened. But those guys are going to.
Rose have been coming up short a couple times. This wasn't his first
quite
time.
Quite a few. Yeah. Just like Roy. Him and Roy are very similar in terms of, you know, being close but not close enough in these big tournaments. So Justin Rose, you know, like I said, if he would have won, I would have been okay with that too, because just like Rory, he had the same thing following him. So yeah, I mean, yeah, shout out to those guys for being troopers.
All right. So I'm going to pass it to the experts because this is y'all domain. It's WrestleMania week. So how y'all feeling?
You know, for whatever reason, me being a wrestling fan, you know, I've been excited, but I feel like I haven't really seen a whole lot, you know, of hype, you know, outside of Raw and SmackDown. Like usually WrestleMania week, like every day, like I'm watching Sports Center, you know, I'm watching stuff on TV, and you know, they just take over the city that they're in for a week. I haven't really seen a whole lot of coverage. I'm pretty sure that, you know, Vegas has been lit all week this week. But, you know, I just haven't seen anything on social media or like on TV that's like, you know, people are excited or, you know, gassed up over this event. You know, it's just, I don't know. I just haven't got that feel this year for some reason. And I have been reading on the internet that some fans are unhappy with how Triple H has been booking the shows or the storylines rather. People feel like he's kind of dropped the ball on like the Cena and Cody Rhodes bit because The Rock hasn't been on TV since the Elimination Chamber when John Cena turned heel. That was the last time that we saw The Rock. So, like, I don't know what his role is anymore. Like, if he's going to come in after Mania and start up something, I don't know. But it's like The Rock, we're going to get the storyline with The Rock and Cena versus Cody. And, like, The Rock has pretty much disappeared. So, I don't know what that's about. And there's been a couple other storylines that the fans haven't really been, you know, or have been upset with. But, you know, I'm still excited to watch. Like, obviously, I'm looking forward to Cody Rhodes and Cena because now that match is going to be people are gonna really be into that match because like Cena gonna win the record-breaking 17th championship, as a heel, or is Cody going to retain and this thing going to drag out? They're going to have a rematch somewhere down the road. Like, there's interest in this match now after the heel turn. I think more interest now. And then you got the triple threat on night one, this Saturday night: Roman Reigns versus Seth versus CM Punk. CM Punk finally getting his main event spot, and Paul Heyman is the caveat in this match because apparently he's going to be in both Roman Reigns and CM Punk's corner. But then Paul Heyman or Seth Rollins conned Paul Heyman into doing a favor for him. So is he going to be in Seth Rollins' corner? I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to that triple threat. I'm looking forward to the championship match. There's some other matches going on in between. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. I'm looking forward to that match because there's been some real life stuff going on between the two of them. It's kind of like, we talked about it before when that real life meets reality. That real life meets fiction, like that line. And like, I think that that match is going to be intriguing because these two women, I believe, have real life hatred towards one another, based off of the promos that they were cutting against each other over the last couple of weeks. And if you guys go and Google it, you can see exactly what I'm talking about because the fans will clue you in on the comments exactly what's been going on. And you can go Google some other stuff outside of that too to follow it. But yeah, Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, I'll be tuning into that one as well. I'm looking forward to that match. Then you got Rhea Ripley. I forget who the other title, the other women's champion is at the moment. I'm drawing a blank, but either way, I'm always excited to see her perform. Naomi versus Jade Cargill. That's going to be a nice match, I think. People not really giving it much of a chance, but that's a sleeper match for me as far as the women go. I think the tag team stuff is going to be good. I don't know. It's going to be a lot. I think they got 7 matches on each night, so a lot to take in, a lot to enjoy. But I definitely have my few that I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I'm waiting on Saturday.
I just think it's real interesting to see people. This is why I guess they're called professionals. Where you do not like this person in real life, but you're working with them. And you have to trust them in the ring to not hurt yourself because, it's like the whole Edge and Matt Hardy thing. For Edge to trust Matt Hardy in the ring after what he did,
yeah,
that's I don't know if I could trust somebody like
that.
Yeah. So shout out to those women to continue to be professional, even though they have their issues.
I got it up on the screen, Trigger.
Yeah, I'm not really excited about Jey Uso versus Gunther because they fought a couple times already, and there's just nothing new with that one. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. I mean, Jacob Fatu is all over this one. He's got to win this match. I mean, it only makes sense. The War Raiders versus the New Day. I feel like that one could go either way. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte. I feel like Tiffany should win because, how many times you're going to put the belt on Charlotte? That's why a lot of people don't like her because the company consistently has her in the championship picture when there's other women on the roster that haven't gotten opportunities. Like Charlotte's been out all this time injured, and as soon as she comes back, she's, given the match a spot in the Royal Rumble. She wins the Royal Rumble, and she's jetted straight to the title picture every single time. And I think fans boo her, not because it's her particularly, but the company for, always putting her in that spot when they want other people to be in that spot. So I feel like the fans are really going to revolt if she wins. So I think they keep the title on Tiffany. CM Punk versus Seth versus Roman. I think CM Punk wins that match. Somehow. Like Roman's already had his chances. Maybe Seth wins because he's been on a losing streak as of lately. So one of the two. I think Roman's not going. Roman won't get pinned though. He will not eat the pin. They'll protect him. But between CM Punk and Seth Rollins,
So Bunny has been coming for John Cena in the chat. Bunny, you can stop
they
calling him
just
John Cena and the Ball Coalition.
Jazz Chisholm just got ejected.
Oh,
Surprise there. All right, NBA playoffs.
well, look at Miles. He's saying go ahead and get to it. We
The
Oh, I ain't know
the
Trick
triple
was still.
threat
I ain't know Trick was done.
triple threat match is not for a championship. By the way, it's just three dudes fighting. There's
Oh
no title
wow.
on the line. Oh, that is wow. That is crazy. That is not a strike. Sorry, I'm watching the
Robot
Yankees.
said it's a strike.
I'm watching the Yankees and the Rays. Yeah, they hose Jazz on that one.
All right, so we got NBA playoffs. Congratulations to the Miami Heat for winning in the playoff game, and congratulations to the Detroit Pistons for making the playoffs first time in the 21st century.
No, they won the championship in the 21st century, buddy.
I know.
Oh.
But the juju for me has rubbed off on the Heat and the Pistons. For me attending that game, both of these teams have made it into the playoffs. So
Go to the Cowboys games then.
Right.
I'm going to the Cowboys Panthers game. We are going to be there in person. Strictly Sports.
No, ain't no we.
But all right, what's your thoughts about the playoffs though?
It's gonna be interesting. I definitely like the Golden State Houston series. I think Golden State might win that in 6 or 7. Who's the
They
4 or
got
5 matchup? Denver. Who's Denver playing?
The Clippers.
I think that's gonna be another exciting matchup. That could be a potential another 7-gamer. I got the Clippers winning that. Of course, I got Pistons in 6, baby. Pistons in 6.
You said 5. He said
Pistons got the Knicks.
Yep, Pistons got the Knicks in 6. They'll split in New York. Detroit will win both games at home. New York will win Game 5, and Detroit will close it out in Game 6.
Okay.
The Heat. I mean I think the Cavaliers and the Celtics will win easily in their first round. I don't know who's gonna win between the Mavericks and the Grizzlies, but I don't think neither one of them is gonna beat OKC.
You don't think so?
No, they might win a game, but they ain't gonna win the series. And then the Lakers and the Timberwolves, I don't think that's going to be as exciting as people think. I think the Lakers will win in 5, possibly 6. And I think that's it. Trigger.
Yeah, well, first of all, shout out Miami for beating Chicago for the 3rd year in a row in the play-in.
Tell Wop Daddy come to the stage.
Start seeing a pattern now. Every time these two meet in the play-in tournament every year, I'm tired of being in the play-in tournament, honestly. And honestly, they shouldn't even be in the play-in tournament. They should be at home. Now they got to sit here and suffer through the playoffs. Well, technically they ain't made it in yet. They still got to win one more game before they're officially in. But even then, guess what? You got the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round if you do beat Atlanta. So I don't know. We'll see.
Win.
Yeah, if they get past the first round, then I'll take them serious. But I don't see it. They might lose to the Hawks. I wouldn't be surprised. And obviously, they lose in the first round. They beat the Hawks. They lose in the first round to the Cavs. Not surprising. So congratulations to them for turning it on now. But why we got to be in the play-in every year? Y'all not like being a top 6, top 5 team. Y'all not like having home court advantage. Y'all just want to set records and make history every year. Like, come on. Get it together.
You think they'll test me if I...
Go ahead.
So you think they'll test me if I say the Magic going to beat the Celtics in the first round?
I say you need to be drug tested.
Yeah, I don't... I don't see the Mavericks beating. I mean, the Magic beating the Celtics. I mean, the
I
Celtics. I mean, all the other teams have been doing well. The Celtics have kind of been flying on the radar, and that's because the Celtics, like, we expect them to do what they're doing. So of course, no one's like really talking about them or like blowing them up because we know what we're getting with them. Now these other teams, they've been up and down. We just don't know. Like the Warriors seem to have been a different team after adding Jimmy Butler. The Mavericks have been injured and they held on somehow, but now their guys have gotten healthy and they're starting to make a push. The Memphis Grizzlies have been up and down. They fired their coach. The Denver Nuggets have been up and down. They fired their coach. The OKC, I feel like they've been getting some love, but they haven't really been getting, overly loved here because, again, like the Celtics, they've been doing what they've been doing all year long. The Houston Rockets have been flying on the radar. They've been doing what they've been doing. The Clippers have been quietly flying under the radar. No one's really talked about them, but they've been playing probably the best basketball in the West right now, just undercover. Look at the other teams in the East. The Cavs. They've gotten some love. Milwaukee's been up and down. Indiana's been up and down. Everybody's kind of had a roller coaster of a season. And Boston and OKC have been two teams who've just been cruising. But the reason why OKC has been talked more about than Boston is because OKC has not been doing this consistently. This is only the second year, kind of doing this there. Boston has been doing this for the last several years with that core of, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Al Horford. So, they've been there. They've been doing it. So, it's expected of them. But just because people ain't talking about them or not bringing them up, don't let that fool you into thinking that the Magic or any team come up in there and beat them in the first round. I don't see that happening. And if I'm the Miami Heat, being the ninth or the 10th seed, they beat the Atlanta Hawks and become the 8th seed, and I would much rather play Cleveland than Boston in the first round.
Hey, look, the Magic, they allow the fewest 3-pointers per game. I'm just saying, they might give Boston some issues.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm not saying they won't. I'm just saying that, in the 7-game series, I just don't see them beating the Celtics. Now, we all know the playoffs are a different animal. So, regular season stuff, that's nice, but, postseason start, everybody's 0-0. So, while that is impressive for them to hold teams to just 4 makes a game, they're going to really have to amplify that up, in the postseason because, again, it's a different animal. And I think Boston feels like they're being disrespected, and they're going to try to come out and drop the hammer on them game 1. And I think that it might not be a sweep, but I give
triggers where the brooms are out.
I give Orlando at least 5 games, if not 6. But this will not be a 7-game series, and if it is, then that's trouble for Boston.
I got a question for y'all. Why is James Harden not in the MVP conversation? Clippers in the playoffs. Kawhi played 30 games this year?
Because the other
No
two
Paul
teams,
George.
because other two teams with those MVP candidates of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikola Jokic are ahead of them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, James Harden had a good year, but there was no consistency.
There's a lot of guys who had a good year.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Giannis.
bring into the conversation, but obviously Jokic and what he's doing. I mean, SGA and what he's doing. I mean, and James Harden. I'm not saying he wouldn't be deserving of it. It's just the other two teams finished in a higher spot, and I think if you take James Harden off that team, yes, the Clippers are going to suffer. But I just think that his numbers are good. They just aren't Jokic good. They just aren't SGA good. That's all.
And my last NBA question for y'all: do y'all think with Dame coming back, does it change the trajectory of the Milwaukee Bucks?
Nope, because Doc Rivers still the head coach.
I knew he was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that. But
if Milwaukee goes up 3-1, be afraid.
I'll say this. I know last year, I know Miles and maybe some others blamed Doc Rivers for the Bucks not advancing, but they had injuries. I'll say if Milwaukee's healthy, that's another team in the East that you might have to watch out. We talk about Boston, we talk about Cleveland, but Milwaukee's been there and done it. You know, they aren't that far removed from a championship. Giannis is still there. He's still great. You know, he got Damian Lillard this time. You know, Bobby Portis is still there. Brook Lopez is still there. You got a bunch of guys who were still there that were on that championship team. Plus, they've added, you know, Dame Lillard now and some others around Giannis who can shoot it and stretch the floor a little bit for them offensively and give Giannis room to drive and do his thing in the paint like he does. So if Milwaukee stays healthy, if Damian Lillard can stay healthy, given the little blood clot issue that he had, I know he's been cleared to play ball now, but if those guys, that core, can stay healthy and they get what they get from their role players, that would be probably my dark horse team in the East, behind Boston and behind Cleveland.
And as long as they don't be up by 3-1 and 3-2, they'll do good. But if not, they in trouble.
At some point, Doc Rivers got to get up 3-1 and close it out. I believe in him.
I got another question. Is it a bad juju to win the championship? The last 5 NBA champions, only 2 coaches are still on the teams that won the championship.
That is very unusual because, and then the crazy thing is these teams are still winning. They may not win the championship. They're still winning. I don't know. I think we're seeing more so the players are more in control now.
Very much.
It's sad to say, but when you're paying someone $50 million and you're paying someone $10 million, which one you gonna listen to? Unfortunately, yeah, that is a stat that really alerts me. That whole, especially first you see, and you saw it with the Memphis Grizzlies, like you're gonna fire a head coach 10 games left in the regular season. Now if you lose tomorrow, now you're out the playoffs, and then who's really at fault?
Grizzlies and the Nuggets.
Yeah, because I think the Grizzlies were in the 5th or 6th seed when they fired Taylor Jenkins, right?
Yeah.
No, I thought they were in the 2nd or 3rd. I thought they.
Yeah, even though the West is so close, I think
West is so close. Yeah,
between 3 and 10, I think it's only separated by like 3 games. Yep. But I don't understand it. The whole Mike Malone situation. I thought Mike Malone was a great coach. Yeah, he gave up that disappointing series last year against Minnesota, where they gave up a 3-2 lead, and then in Game 7, I think they were up by 20 points, and they lost that lead at home. But I don't know. I do not know. But I think it's more so these coaches are getting fired because of relationships, not basketball IQ.
Yeah, and that sucks because winning should be over everything. And unfortunately, and I think another reason too is like these coaches win, and especially with these franchises that are being successful, that haven't had success, in a long time or maybe ever. It's like once you get the taste of that first victory, it's like, all right, well, we expect to continue to be competing, especially if we got this core, of players still intact. Like we should be winning, often. Like there's no winning one championship and then, next 3 seasons we're not, making it to the conference finals or getting back to the finals or whatever. So like these owners, these organizations, these fan bases who aren't used to winning, who aren't used to this success, they get a taste of it, and that's what you want. That's the bar every single year. And as long as you got Jokic and Jamal Murray, you got another coaches. Budenholzer got let go from Phoenix after he got let go on Milwaukee when he still had Giannis in his prime, who's still in his prime, and others. And it's like the Bucks won in 2020 or 2021, whichever year it was, and they haven't been back since. And all of a sudden, it's like, all right, you won one championship 4 years ago, or 3 years ago. you got to go. Like, we ain't got back in 3 years.
Gotta
You
get
got
up
to
out
go.
here.
So, the Bucks ain't been successful in, since like the 60s. So,
But Doc Rivers won one in 2008.
And he been milking it ever since.
yep, but he's also had, a few jobs since then, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I said this stat many times. I think it has happened 8 times when a team has given up a 3-1 lead in the playoffs. Doc Rivers is responsible for 3 of them. 3. He was the head
Okay.
coach for
I got
3 of them. And
I
by
got
the way,
another
his
question.
first one was to my Detroit Pistons.
Oh, my gosh.
I got another question for y'all because Miles says some about these players have more control. So why is it that LeBron get his coaches fired, but Jokic ain't had nothing to do with Mike Malone getting fired?
But this is Jokic's first. And this is, I heard it had nothing to do with Jokic. It had to do everything with Russell Westbrook. LeBron, every
Yeah.
time, but look how many coaches LeBron has been through.
There ain't been that many.
It ain't been that many. LeBron has had more coaches than I've had jobs.
That ain't. But you say he been on 3 teams.
Okay, but let's look
4
at
teams.
Cleveland. When he came back to Cleveland, it was David Platt, Ty Lue, and then he left. And then it was what? When he went to LA, it was
Luke
Frank
Walton,
Vogel.
Frank Vogel,
And then it was somebody else, Darvin Ham, and then JJ.
Darvin Ham, JJ Redick.
Yeah, like
What about Miami though?
But see, Pat Riley ran that organization. Pat Riley, like, you not fucking shit up over here.
He was trying to get Spo out of there.
Yeah, he was trying to because he wanted Pat Riley as a coach, and D Wade was like, "Bro, I promise you, that's not what you want."
Yeah, you think the cookies was?
Yeah, you thought the cookie was bad idea. Yeah, wait till when you crawling at home when you can't fucking walk.
They were talking about Byron Scott's like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But it's crazy. I remember the Phoenix Suns a couple years ago. They fired Monty Smith when he won 60 games.
Yep.
It's wild. The Bucks fired the dude. Who was the dude before they had Doc? They were second
That's
in
the
the
one who just
East.
got fired.
Budenholzer, and then the black dude.
Yeah, it was the
after
black
that.
dude, Adrian. So they were second in the East and
Adrian
they
Griffin.
fired.
Adrian Griffin.
Adrian Griffin.
Yeah, second in the East and they fired.
Oh, he's talking about the Bucks. I'm talking about the Suns.
Mhm.
My bad. Sorry.
Crazy. I mean, hell, it's almost like Jerry Jones is running the NBA now.
It's Adam Silver's NBA.
I gotta go, fellas.
Uh-oh.
She got on the red biker shorts. Hey, brother.
Hey, your business, Trigger.
I gotta go, fellas.
Hey, brother. Win one for the Gipper.
I'll see y'all on the next episode. When we coming back?
Hey, when we come back, we can be done. We can be done. When y'all want to come back? Monday, Tuesday?
Mac, don't kill him.
Did y'all? We have more to go.
No,
Go, Andy. We good. We ain't had nothing else. We was gonna talk about Nico and NIL. That's it.
We'll talk next week.
We'll get that next time. Yeah, you handle your business. I'm Be Wise.
I'm proud of my boy Trigger.
Trigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
And I'm going to the range. Peace.
All right. Peace. All right. Peace. See y'all later. How y'all doing? Be Wise still here. Yeah. So abrupt ending, but good things. So yeah. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope y'all been doing good. Stay tuned. More to come. We appreciate y'all. This has been the shortest episode ever of Strictly Sports. As always, again, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for supporting. Thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah, Lady Ray, it is wild. I'm probably gonna be back tomorrow with I got NCAA. I'm playing the computer, so hopefully I get a win. Because this league is getting rough and tough because it's nothing but college football game players, and I don't play as much anymore. But that's on me. I'm getting back. It's a busy time. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Yeah, you'll see. Hey, I fell asleep. Because like Bunny, medicine started kicking in. So don't hold me to anything. After April, I'll be back. After April, I'll be back. I'll be streaming more. I'll be doing more things. And Soul out here looking for people to somebody play Phasmophobia with Soul, please. Second time he made a group post looking for people. I'm just trying to kill some time, get some extra time in with y'all. But yeah, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all. I'm out. Peace, 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 peace.